Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Here's how Stone Cold responds to an enraged brother in Jason and Drew's intense argument. According to General Hospital teasers, Jason Morgan and Drew Quartermain will soon engage in a heated argument. Here's how Stone Cold plans to deal with his irate brother from February 17th to 21st. Fans of GH are aware that Drew has been babbling about Jason Morgan being the father of Sasha Gilmore Corbin's child. As a result, Drew recently publicly tarnished Sasha's reputation. Since it keeps Michael Corinthos from being exposed instead, at least for the time being, Jason has now consented to let everyone think he is the baby daddy. Jason may be going up against Drew because he has promised to look out for Sasha while Michael is healing. When Drew runs into Jason, he might take some jabs about Sasha, which would probably make his brother angry. Jason could easily caution Drew not to mention Sasha, and to focus only on his own ruined romance. Drew has no right to judge others because he assisted Willow Corinthos in breaking her marriage vows. When Jason and Drew face up in these tense future scenarios, Jason might make that very evident to Drew. Naturally, there may be arguments over Cyrus Renaud, and the current incident with Danny Morgan during this confrontation. Drew might interpret Jason's public threat of Cyrus' death as evidence that he is bringing turmoil into Danny's life. Drew can anticipate that Jason would end up back in prison and promise to be a father figure to Danny after Jason is imprisoned. It's easy to see Drew agitating Jason over Cyrus and thinking that Jason would shortly go down for permanently eliminating him. Jason and Drew will undoubtedly face a significant clash in any event. We'll provide updates on any crazy news and all the heated times since it will be entertaining to see things blow up. Stay tuned for unexpected surprises during Drew and Jason's confrontation. According to General Hospital spoilers, do new Brennan and Carly sizzle or fizzle? Fans are still adjusting to Chris McKenna's portrayal of Jack Brennan, according to General Hospital spoilers, but we must ask, do Carly Spencer and the new Brennan sizzle or fizzle? Naturally, since McKenna has large shoes to fill, we don't want to be too hard on him here. Even though McKenna is a charming and competent actor, he wasn't the best person to replace Charles Measure. Although we can understand the show's desire to preserve the time and effort invested in Carly and Brennan's relationship, McKenna's recasting seems like a mistake. Brennan doesn't even feel like the same character because McKenna's interpretation is so different from Measure's. Perhaps it would have been better to just state that Brennan was being transferred to another location and have McKenna play a character who was entirely new to Port Charles. GH on the other hand cast McKenna as Brennan, but with a completely different tone and accent. Now that he feels like a stranger, it's difficult to even imagine McKenna as Brennan, much less see any genuine connection with Carly. Measure's portrayal of Brennan had a particular allure that could be impossible to duplicate. We would argue that they are fizzling rather than sizzling as they ought to be since the new Brennan is dry and, to be honest, just doesn't click with Carly. We're not yet seeing any chemistry between Carly and the new Brennan, but that might change once McKenna has more scenes under his belt. Do you believe Brennan and Carly should be separated up, or should the show keep going in this romantic direction? Now that Brennan has changed so drastically, is it really worth having him around? According to our predictions, Carly will lose it when she learns that Brennan appears to be enlisting Jocelyn Jacks for the WSB. It might present an opportunity to break up a failing relationship, because Brennan and Carly could be torn apart by that unexpected exposure. According to General Hospital spoilers, there may be upcoming relationship changes in Port Charles, so we'll keep you informed of any significant developments in Carly's romantic life. Jason's deadly showdown with Cyrus. A startling 4-word ultimatum. Teasers for General Hospital spoilers and updates in a fatal altercation. Jason Morgan might say only 4 words to Cyrus Renaud. Given that Jason has given a terrifying warning, Cyrus may soon find himself unable to escape Stone Cold's wrath. An imminent threat and a deadly warning. Jason gave a stern warning that hinted at danger when he saw Cyrus with his hand on Danny Morgan's shoulder. Jason adamantly declared that they might as well consider it a one-way ticket, with no chance of ever finding Cyrus again, if he dared to touch Danny again. Jason has led many people to the Pine Barrens, and this was a blatant threat that he would do everything in his power to make sure Cyrus vanished without a trace. Given his experience as Sonny Corinthos' enforcer for many years, It is clear that Jason has the know-how to make such a situation a reality. Martin Gray intervened and lodged an official complaint against Jason with the PCPD. In an attempt to prevent this terrible outcome, Jason was cautioned against taking any violent action, but he will if necessary. Sasha Gilmore Corbin made another effort to talk Jason out of taking a lethal route to retribution. But nothing can stop Jason from getting rid of Cyrus permanently. He is motivated by his desire to protect his loved ones. Sam McCall's absence was caused by Cyrus, thus Danny must deal with the grief of losing his mother. Still grieving over the death of Dex Heller, Jocelyn Jacks finds herself putting her own safety in danger because of Cyrus. Furthermore, Michael Corinthos might have suffered a terrible fate at Cyrus's hands if Isaiah Gannon hadn't intervened to neutralize the Digitalis. Elizabeth Baldwin is being targeted by Cyrus. Jason will be incensed when he discovers that Cyrus is aiming for Jake Weber's mother, and he has set his sights on Elizabeth Baldwin. It's possible that Jason may lose it and set up a cunning trap for Cyrus. It would be incredibly satisfying if Jason were the one to finally get rid of Cyrus. He says the terrifying statement, "I keep my promises." In that pivotal scene, Jason could make sure Cyrus vanishes completely, demonstrating that he keeps his word. According to our forecasts, Cyrus is headed for a violent demise. Alexis' pursuit of justice, Sonny's threat, and Sasha's criminal secret. According to General Hospital spoilers, a sneak peek for Friday, February 14, 2025, has been made public. Expect Sasha Gilmore Corbin to maintain a secret following a hit-and-run in today's episode. Alexis Davis brings her quest for justice to Jason Morgan. Additionally, Cody Bell makes an effort to minimize Molly Lansing Davis. The secret of Sasha Gilmore Corbin. After Elaine Stevens ran after Mavis and was struck by a car, the Friday, February 14 preview clip depicts what transpired. Sasha tells the dog she's very sorry for everything while holding Mavis for dear life. Elaine's survival after being struck by a car is unclear. Sasha didn't intend for Elaine to suffer harm. After learning that Elaine worked as a private investigator, Sasha was merely looking for information. But what will Sasha do now that a car has struck Elaine? Is it possible that Sasha's issues may worsen? The justice quest of Alexis Davis. After hearing from Christina Corinthos Davis about what transpired with Cyrus Renault, Alexis talks to Jason Morgan. Alexis tells Jason in the GH teaser that she wants her face to be the last thing Cyrus sees. Cody Bell's reasoning. According to Friday, February 14 General Hospital teasers, Cody and Molly are still stranded on the roof with no means of escape. Molly has revealed her true intentions about those files. Molly acknowledged that she obtained inappropriate records from the hospital by abusing her position in the DA's office. Cody, however, asks Molly what she can do regarding Cyrus that the police are unable to do. It's obvious that this Cyrus narrative will become a murder mystery. Even though the murder hasn't occurred yet, the lengthy list of suspects is already getting longer. The deal of Sonny Corinthos. Additionally, fans can anticipate that Sonny Corinthos will make a proposal to Ava Jerome. Ava should strike a deal, Sonny advises. Sonny warns Ava that if she doesn't accept the offer right away, she would lose the case in court. It seems likely that Ava will accept the custody agreement. This might be the best result Ava can achieve at the moment, because she doesn't want to lose her daughter, and she's still in financial trouble. Additionally, Brooke Lynn Quartermain is seen attacking Maxie Jones in the preview footage. Lulu Spencer goes to speak with Christina at Charlie's. Tabiana Ali, star of General Hospital, responds to her detractors. Despite being one of the most gifted celebrities in the daytime television industry, it appears that she also has to cope with a good number of trolls. Tabiana Ali, star of General Hospital, responds to her detractors. Naturally, we are referring to Tabiana Ali, the star of General Hospital, because she has a strategy for handling her detractors. The soap opera star revealed in an essay for Deadline that she was fed up with seeing the vitriol she and her daytime TV co-stars faced on social media nearly every day. She made the decision to speak up and make a definitive statement because of this. Tabiana did clarify, though, that the comments she was reading about herself initially hurt. "These people didn't know me, and I didn't know them, so their remarks were meaningless," she said. "However, I gradually began to struggle with self-esteem, which made me begin to doubt my own value. I would see remarks saying that I shouldn't be in an interracial relationship because I'm black, and that I'm not as attractive as my on-screen counterparts. They claimed that my talent and worth were incomparable. Spoilers for General Hospital. But Tabiana added, I still accepted the negative remarks as some part of the truth, despite all the accomplishments I had made in my career and beyond, letting go of the narrative and embracing the fact that I am not mediocre, that I am beautiful, that I have value, and that I am talented took several months. The most obvious piece of advice I would give other actors is to not take hate personally if you encounter it. I understand what social media is, she continued. I'll switch off my phone, go outside, enjoy a tasty lunch, touch some grass, and find something to do when I'm sick of it. Additionally, keep in mind that the ABC network broadcasts General Hospital on weekdays. Look up the timings in your local listings. Jason and Drew's fierce fight. Here's how Stone Cold handles infuriating brother. The world of professional wrestling is no stranger to drama, rivalries, and intense confrontations. It's a realm where larger-than-life personalities clash, alliances are tested, and family ties are often strained to their breaking point. One such story that has captivated fans is the fierce fight between Jason and Drew, two brothers whose rivalry has escalated to new heights, drawing the attention of none other than the legendary Stone Cold Steve Austin. Known for his no-nonsense attitude, rebellious spirit, and unparalleled ability to handle chaos, Stone Cold's involvement in this feud has added a layer of intensity and unpredictability. This essay delves into the dynamics of Jason and Drew's fierce fight, exploring the roots of their conflict, the role of Stone Cold in mediating, or exacerbating, the situation, and the broader implications of this storyline in the world of professional wrestling. The origins of Jason and Drew's rivalry. Every great wrestling feud has a backstory, and the conflict between Jason and Drew is no exception. The brothers, once a formidable tag team, have a history that dates back to their early days in the wrestling business. Trained by their father, a retired wrestler himself, Jason and Drew were groomed for success from a young age. Their shared passion for the sport and complementary in-ring styles made them a fan-favorite duo. However, as is often the case in wrestling, success bred jealousy, and jealousy bred resentment. The cracks in their relationship began to show when Drew started receiving more attention from promoters and fans. His charisma and technical prowess made him a standout performer, while Jason, though talented, often found himself overshadowed. This imbalance created a rift between the brothers, with Jason feeling undervalued and Drew growing increasingly frustrated with Jason's perceived lack of ambition. The tension reached a boiling point during a high-stakes match where Drew accidentally cost Jason a championship title. What followed was a heated argument that spilled out of the ring and into the locker room, marking the beginning of their bitter feud. The escalation of the feud. As the weeks turned into months, Jason and Drew's rivalry intensified. Their matches became more brutal, their promos more personal, and their actions more reckless. The once close brothers were now bitter enemies, each determined to prove their superiority over the other. The feud took a dramatic turn when Drew aligned himself with a notorious heel faction, using their resources to gain an unfair advantage over Jason. This betrayal cut deep, as Jason saw it as a sign that Drew was willing to sacrifice their family bond for personal gain. The stakes were raised even higher when Jason retaliated by targeting Drew's allies, dismantling the faction piece by piece. This back-and-forth warfare captivated audiences, who were eager to see how far the brothers would go to outdo each other. The feud reached its peak during a Hell in a Cell match, where Jason and Drew left everything in the ring. The match was a brutal spectacle, with both men bleeding, battered, and broken by the end. Despite the physical toll, neither brother was willing to concede defeat, and the match ended in a double countout, leaving the rivalry unresolved. Enter Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was at this point that Stone Cold Steve Austin entered the fray. Known for his rebellious attitude and disdain for authority, Stone Cold is a wrestling icon who has never shied away from a fight. His involvement in Jason and Drew's feud was unexpected but fitting, given his reputation for handling chaotic situations with his trademark blend of wit and brute force. Stone Cold's initial role was that of a mediator. Brought in by the promotion's management to quell the escalating violence between the brothers, Stone Cold attempted to reason with Jason and Drew. In a memorable segment, he confronted the brothers in the ring, delivering a passionate promo about the importance of family and the futility of their feud. However, his words fell on deaf ears, as both Jason and Drew were too consumed by their hatred for each other to listen. Frustrated by their stubbornness, Stone Cold decided to take a more hands-on approach. He challenged both brothers to a triple threat match, with the stipulation that the winner would earn his respect, and the loser would be forced to leave the promotion. The match was a masterclass in storytelling, with Stone Cold using his experience and cunning to outmaneuver the younger, more impulsive brothers. In the end, it was Jason who emerged victorious, pinning Drew after a devastating finishing move. Stone Cold's impact on the feud. Stone Cold's involvement in Jason and Drew's feud had a profound impact on both the storyline and the characters involved. For Jason, the victory over Drew and Stone Cold was a turning point. It validated his skills and gave him the confidence to step out of his brother's shadow. For Drew, the loss was a humbling experience that forced him to reevaluate his actions and motivations. The feud, which had once seemed endless, now had a sense of closure, thanks in large part to Stone Cold's intervention. However, Stone Cold's role in the feud was not without controversy. Some fans argued that his involvement overshadowed the brothers' storyline, while others praised his ability to elevate the feud to new heights. Regardless of where one stands on the issue, there's no denying that Stone Cold's presence added a layer of excitement and unpredictability to the rivalry. The broader implications of the feud, Jason and Drew's fierce fight and Stone Cold's handling of it, is more than just a wrestling storyline. It's a reflection of the complexities of family dynamics, the destructive nature of jealousy, and the redemptive power of competition. The feud resonates with audiences because it taps into universal themes that extend beyond the world of wrestling. Moreover, the storyline highlights the importance of veteran wrestlers like Stone Cold in shaping the careers of younger talent. By sharing the ring with Jason and Drew, Stone Cold not only elevated their status, but also provided them with invaluable lessons in storytelling and character development. This mentorship is crucial in an industry where the line between reality and fiction is often blurred, and where the legacy of one generation is passed down to the next. Conclusion. Jason and Drew's fierce fight is a testament to the enduring appeal of professional wrestling. It's a story of brotherhood, betrayal, and redemption, brought to life by the larger-than-life personalities of its protagonists. Stone Cold Steve Austin's involvement added a layer of complexity and excitement to the feud, showcasing his ability to handle even the most infuriating of situations with his trademark blend of wit and brute force. As the dust settles on this epic rivalry, one thing is clear. The world of professional wrestling is richer for having witnessed the clash between Jason and Drew, and the indomitable spirit of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Whether as allies or adversaries, these three men have left an indelible mark on the industry, reminding us all why we tune in week after week to watch the drama unfold. Do Carly and New Brennan fizzle, not sizzle? As General Hospital continues to weave complex relationships and unexpected pairings, the introduction of a potential romance between Carly Spencer and the new Brennan has sparked a debate among fans. While some were eager to see Carly find love again, others are questioning whether this duo truly has the chemistry to ignite Port Charles. Carly's romantic history and what's next. Carly Spencer has never had a shortage of passionate relationships. From Sonny Corinthos to Jasper Jax, and even Jason Morgan, Carly's love life has been a roller coaster filled with undeniable chemistry and high-stakes drama. However, her latest dynamic with Brennan is leaving some viewers skeptical. Brennan, a relatively new addition to the scene, has remained a bit of an enigma. While he exudes charm and a mysterious allure, there seems to be something missing when it comes to his interactions with Carly. Unlike the fiery passion she shared with past lovers, her conversations with Brennan often feel forced, as if the writers are trying to create chemistry where there is none. Forced or natural? One of the biggest concerns with this pairing is the lack of organic connection. While opposites can attract, there needs to be a foundation of tension, passion, or emotional depth to make a couple compelling. So far, Carly and Brennan's scenes have been more lukewarm than steamy. Some fans speculate that Brennan may have ulterior motives for pursuing Carly. Could he have a hidden agenda that involves her past, her connections to Sonny, or even her role at the Metro Court? If Brennan's interest isn't genuine, this romance is bound to fizzle rather than sizzle. Carly's growth as a character. Another factor to consider is Carly's own growth. After everything she's endured, the loss of Jason, her divorce from Sonny, and the drama surrounding Nina Reeves, Carly has become a stronger, more independent woman. Some argue that she doesn't need a romance right now, especially not one that feels contrived. A relationship should challenge and enhance Carly, but Brennan, at least so far, doesn't seem to bring out the best in her. Instead of reigniting a spark in her life, their interactions have felt more like an obligatory attempt to pair her off. Is there hope for a turnaround? While initial impressions haven't been glowing, there's always the possibility that Brennan's character will develop in a way that makes him more compelling. If he is given deeper layers, more vulnerability, or even a secret that ties him into Carly's past, their chemistry could evolve. However, if the writers fail to establish a believable foundation, Carly and Brennan's storyline may be doomed to fade into the background. For now, fans are watching closely to see whether this pairing will take off or crash and burn. Final thoughts. Carly and Brennan's potential romance is at a crossroads. While General Hospital has a history of turning unlikely pairings into fan-favorite couples, the chemistry needs to be there. If the writers can't build a convincing spark between them, it may be best to let this romance fizzle out before it even truly begins. Jason's shocking four-word ultimatum to Cyrus in a deadly showdown. The air was thick with tension, the kind that could be cut with a knife. The dimly lit room, filled with the faint hum of flickering fluorescent lights, seemed to hold its breath as Jason and Cyrus stood face to face. The stakes had never been higher. This wasn't just a confrontation. It was a battle of wills, a clash of ideologies, and a fight for survival. Jason, a man of few words but unwavering resolve, had reached his breaking point. Cyrus, on the other hand, was the embodiment of chaos, a master manipulator who thrived in the shadows. Their paths had crossed one too many times, and now there was no turning back. The backstory leading up to this moment was one of betrayal, loss, and unrelenting pursuit. Jason had once been a loyal soldier, a man who believed in justice and order. But when Cyrus, a cunning and ruthless adversary, orchestrated the downfall of everything Jason held dear, the line between right and wrong began to blur. Jason's family, his career, his sense of purpose, all of it had been ripped away by Cyrus's machinations. What remained was a man driven by vengeance, a man who had nothing left to lose. Cyrus, however, was no ordinary villain. He was a strategist, a puppeteer who pulled strings from behind the scenes. His motives were enigmatic, his methods unpredictable. He didn't just want power. He wanted to dismantle the very fabric of society and rebuild it in his image. To him, Jason was a pawn, a means to an end. But Cyrus had underestimated Jason's resilience, his ability to adapt and fight back. What began as a game of cat and mouse had escalated into a full-blown war, and now they stood on the precipice of a deadly showdown. The room itself seemed to mirror the intensity of the moment. It was a forgotten warehouse on the outskirts of the city, a place where secrets were buried and deals were made in the dark. The walls were lined with rusted metal shelves, stacked with crates of unknown contents. The floor was littered with debris, evidence of years of neglect. But in the center of the room, under the harsh glow of a single overhead light, Jason and Cyrus faced each other, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Jason's expression was unreadable, a mask of determination and simmering rage. His hands were clenched into fists, his body tense, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. Cyrus, in contrast, exuded an air of calm confidence. His lips were curled into a faint smirk, as if he were enjoying the spectacle. He knew he had the upper hand, or so he thought. But Jason had one card left to play, a final gambit that would change the course of their deadly dance. It was then that Jason spoke, his voice low and steady, each word dripping with intensity. "Leave. Now. Or die." The four-word ultimatum hung in the air like a thunderclap, reverberating through the room and shaking Cyrus to his core. It wasn't just a warning. It was a declaration of war. Jason had drawn a line in the sand, and there was no going back. Cyrus's smirk faltered for a fraction of a second, a rare crack in his facade. He hadn't expected this. He had anticipated defiance, perhaps even desperation, but not this raw, unyielding resolve. For the first time he felt a flicker of doubt. Was Jason bluffing? Or was he truly prepared to follow through on his threat? Cyrus quickly regained his composure, masking his uncertainty with a dismissive laugh. "You think you can intimidate me, Jason?" Cyrus sneered, his voice dripping with mockery. "You're out of your depth. You always have been. This is my world, And you're just a pawn in my game. But Jason didn't flinch. His gaze remained steady, his resolve unshaken. This isn't a game, he replied, his tone icy. Not anymore. You've taken everything from me. There's nothing left for you to destroy. But if you take one more step, if you cross this line, I'll make sure you regret it. The tension in the room was palpable. A living, breathing entity that seemed to press down on both men. Cyrus's mind raced, calculating his next move. He had always been several steps ahead. But Jason's ultimatum had thrown a wrench into his plans. He couldn't afford to show weakness, not now. But he also couldn't ignore the possibility that Jason was willing to go further than he had anticipated. You're bluffing, Cyrus said, though there was a hint of uncertainty in his voice. You don't have it in you. You're a man of principles, remember? You don't kill in cold blood. Jason's eyes narrowed, his jaw tightening. You're right, he admitted. I don't kill in cold blood. But this isn't cold blood, Cyrus. This is justice. And if that means taking you down, so be it. The words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the stakes. Cyrus knew he was running out of options. He could call Jason's bluff, but the risk was too great. Jason had nothing left to lose, and that made him dangerous. Cyrus, on the other hand, had everything to lose. His empire, his legacy, his life, all of it was on the line. For a moment, the room was silent, the only sound the faint hum of the flickering lights. Then, with a slow, deliberate motion, Cyrus took a step back. It was a small gesture, but it spoke volumes. He had conceded, at least for now. But the war was far from over. This isn't the end, Jason, Cyrus said, his voice low and menacing. You've won this round, but the game isn't over. I'll be watching. And when you least expect it, I'll strike. Jason didn't respond. He simply stood his ground, his eyes never leaving Cyrus's. He knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of a new chapter in their deadly dance. But for now he had won. He had faced his enemy and emerged victorious, if only for a moment. As Cyrus turned and walked away, disappearing into the shadows, Jason allowed himself a moment of respite. The weight of the confrontation pressed down on him, a reminder of the toll it had taken. But he couldn't afford to let his guard down. Cyrus was still out there, and he would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Jason's ultimatum had been a gamble, a desperate move born of necessity. But it had worked. For now he had bought himself some time. But he knew the battle was far from over. The war between him and Cyrus was a clash of titans, a struggle for survival that would test the limits of their strength, their cunning, and their will to survive. As he left the warehouse, stepping out into the cold night air, Jason couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The road ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger and betrayal. But he was ready. He had faced his darkest fears and emerged stronger. And no matter what challenges lay ahead, he would face them head-on. The deadly showdown between Jason and Cyrus was a turning point, a moment that would define their fates. Jason's shocking forward ultimatum had set the stage for a battle that would push them both to their limits. And as the dust settled, one thing was clear. This was only the beginning.